Namaste, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Blooming Lotus Healing channel. My name is Jikara, and I'm a spiritual healing facilitator. And I'm so excited that you're here watching today. We're going to be talking about something incredible that has to do with our intuitive development. So if you've been wanting to develop your intuition or you've been seeking community, then this is a really great conversation starter for us to have together here. So today we're going to have one of our favorite people that has come into the space many, many times before. And I'm so just grateful for Maurice, who is such a beautiful soul and such an open-hearted um, soul that wants to share with us and not only share with us his beautiful self, but also wants us to feel good about ourselves in our journey. And so I've attended a couple of his mediumship circles, and it's been life changing for me personally. And I know that some of you already have attended. I know some of you have already come in and out of his circles, and you felt his energy, and you know what I'm talking about if you have attended his circle. So I'm so excited to have him here today. But before we get started, I want to do some announcements. I want to let you know that the Cosmic Light Activation membership is ready and available for you to join. You can actually join at sign up right now at the bloominglotushealing.com/cosmic light activation. If you go there, you can sign up, and this is a really great way to support this channel so that we can continue creating new content, new free content like this one. This supports the channel, but also will support you and your energetic hygiene. We actually do clearings every month at the collective level for the group, and I send in a reading every week, a collective reading for the group as well. And so there's also some additional perks that I'm starting to add to the membership, which I'm so excited about. So you definitely want to sign up and come on in and join the family. And so I want to take a moment just to thank everyone who is part already of the Cosmic Light Activation group. And thank you everyone who is liking and subscribing and sharing, and all of the interactions that you have here on this channel support this channel. So please continue to do so. Don't keep me hidden. Share me away. Please share this channel away as much as you like. If this is your first time here, please do subscribe. And then enough. Let's go ahead and bring in our amazing friend, old friend here, Maurice Sinclair.
Hey, everybody.
Hi. How are you? So Cece's here, Nicole is here, Peggy's here. Hi, everyone.
Hey,
So
everybody.
happy that y'all are here.
Yeah, cool to have you here.
Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to really start the conversation. But before we get started, some people that may watch this video after on the replay or maybe right now may not know you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, I am a professional psychic medium, energy healer, channel for information and healing, I like to call myself. I do psychic readings, mediumship readings, Reiki healings, shamanic Akashic healings, which are my entry into the Akashic records. And I also mentor mediums, and I host mediumship circles. So that's kind of in a nutshell what I do. Other things too, but these are the kind of the things on the poster.
Yeah, and it's incredible. I mean, I've had sessions with you which are really powerful. And I remember one of the sessions, healing session that you did. You were reconnecting me with my inner child, and also connecting me with
Mm.
my sense of self worth. And I could sense, almost like you were putting the crown on my rightful crown on my head, and it was so beautiful, and I felt like $1,000,000 right after. So yeah, so if you guys have never connected with him, I want to invite you to do so. He actually has a website, ancientmademodern.com, and you can also follow him on Instagram if you're interested, which is basically going to be the same, ancient.made.modern, and so that you can continue to connect with him if you feel inclined to do so. So we are going to talk about a this conversation started in one of the mediumship circles that I was attending. Nicole was there.
Yes.
So hi, Nicole, you're here.
Hi,
She was
Nicole.
actually the one that suggested this. So thank you, Nicole, for that suggestion. And yeah, because we were actually, praising you, right? Like, oh my gosh, we love this circle. We feel so safe. We feel so good. And, we feel like we can connect, and it's just so good. And then that kind of got us, in this conversation of like safety, right? Like feeling safe in a place that where we're looking to connect to our intuition.
Yeah.
And so that kind of brought a conversation forth in regards to, what are the things to look out for whenever we're seeking these communities, right? Because when we are starting out our journey, we kind of want to seek out community. We want to seek out other people who are kind of going through the same thing or want to learn the same things. And I feel like this applies for any spiritual community or any community in general, right? Like we want to make sure that we are seeking communities that are safe for us to express ourselves, for us to feel fully in our own full capacity and expression.
Mm.
So I kind of want to, I guess, to ask you, what are the things you feel we should look for whenever we are seeking spiritual community and, keeping in mind safety in within that community?
I think first and foremost, the if there is like either an organizer, a facilitator, or a leader of this of the circle or the group that you're considering, kind of almost like energetically vetting them first, kind of seeing how you feel about them, maybe having one-on-one interactions and conversations with them first and seeing kind of what you get from them, because the space is only really going to be as good as the facilitator is. So it's like, well, good, meaning it's only going to feel as safe, as warm, inviting, or even constructive as the facilitator. So I think first and foremost is like the person who has put this space together, because it's it's funny because even me, when I put together my circle, I didn't really give much thought to like the overall construction of it. All I knew is I wanted to have a place that was safe for people to practice, not feel judged, and to just kind of come and just be themselves and not feel inhibited by specific technique or anything like that. That was important to me because I had been in other circles where that was just such a hindrance to me. I start reading them like, you said 5 things. You're supposed to get 4. And it's like, whoa, just let me flow. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be wrong, just let me go. And so like, it became really important for me for that. So I think I'm only saying that because I think for me, I think part of what people feel, or maybe all of what people feel about my space, is that it's infused with that intention, like, and if the person who's facilitating if their intention is, for example, to create really skilled mediums, do you know what I mean? If that's their number one intention, they might, for example, overlook the safety portion or the comfort portion or the freedom portion. So it's not to say that's necessarily bad, not necessarily. It's just that just look for first. It's like look for if the facilitator's ideals align with yours. I think that's like the first thing. Maybe also. This is just my opinion. This is just how I feel
Yeah,
about
of
it. But
course. I mean, we're having a conversation, right? So, but please open, like, I want us to have this conversation because I think it's important.
yeah, because I also feel like it's when you're in the circle, it's important to me that you are setting some sort of intention to invite energies that are only constructive and only there to help you and to support you. So, for example, if you're in a circle who's like, just let everyone in here, like what, if you kind of you might be subject to invite some things that you might be less comfortable with, or that you might not like, or might be even potentially harmful, and so I think that's another thing to look out for when it comes to circles of development, when it comes to spirituality is, I mean, I guess that goes back to what you're infusing the intention of the circle or the group with. And one of those intentions for me is in the direct intention for safety, not just incidental safety because like the facilitator's nice, but the facilitator actively saying something like, I'm only allowing beings who are here for our highest good. This is something that you hear me say in my circles. And another thing to look out for, I don't know, this kind of boils down to personal preference, but for me, if a medium is, or if a practitioner is trying too hard to force their way onto you, for me, that's a red flag, because everyone works differently. You know, if a person isn't working with you to develop how you work and to open up your gifts and what works best for you, to me, that's a red flag. Because that, honestly, that has to do, for me, it has more to do with like ego. I want to see my way through this person because my way is right. I'm right, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And like, if you don't have a person who's willing to be like, wow, I never thought about it like that. That's actually really interesting. Maybe I'll try it like that. If you don't have a facilitator that's not willing to be open-minded and expand on the ways that they're even doing things, to me, that's a big red flag. You know, if they're not willing to expand, because like everyone is constantly learning. Like even in my one-on-one mentorships, I'm always learning something. I'm always like, whoa, I never even thought of doing it like that, you know, because everyone has their own gift and everyone has their own medicine. And if you're getting with a person who isn't helping you to provide that special, specific medicine that you have to the world, then, I mean, they can only take you so far. I feel like you're going to be limited.
I love that.
What else? Is there anything?
I mean, you know, and you know, and I just kind of wanted us to open the conversation. I mean, we were, Nicole is saying, I love that so much. My way is definitely, she said, the same as others in the group. I never felt what I was doing wrong. What I was doing was wrong. And she said, thank you, Maurice. And it's true, you know, like that's one of the things that I have felt. And so obviously, you know, I think that looking out for that intention and maybe even connecting to the person, right? The leader. I think it's one.
Uh-oh. Am I all by myself? I can't see anybody's responses if I'm here by myself, but I don't see Jikara.
Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. I was like, am I here by myself?
I don't know what happened. My internet just went like poof, 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 poof. Okay, but that's the beauty of live, right? Live with Maurice, yes. It's all good, y'all. I can leave him here, and I know that y'all are gonna be in good. I can listen. If there's anyone that I trust with my peeps, is you, Maurice.
I was just hoping it wasn't mine. I thought maybe it was me that it shut. I was like, well,
no, it was definitely me. It's something. I don't know, some issue. But anyway, yes, the spirits are alive with Maurice. But what I was gonna say is, so going back to what I was saying, the reason why I felt this was important was because when we were having this conversation, I was also thinking about the reflection of, even because I mean, obviously I participate in other communities, right? Like I participate in many, and I'm always questioning myself about, you know, how can I make a community safe? How can I make my community, you know, thrive and make feel and people and make people feel good. And you know, going back to what you were saying at the beginning about, you know, the intention, really connecting to the intention, even even asking the question to the person, what is your intention behind the group? I think that would be very, very powerful, because then it gives you an idea of like, is this aligned? Do I feel safe with this intention? Is this aligned with me? Is this what I want? And so then kind of going into that space of understanding that, you know, that you would be entering with that intention, right? Kind of like how you were saying, like making mediums that are effective, or I don't know what the word that you said earlier, but you know, but your intention was very different. Your intention was safety. Your intention was freedom. Your intention was openness, which you know, which is felt in the circles, you know, that, you know, it's felt like, and so I feel that in itself was very healing, not only for me, but you know, even other people that have attended, right, that have given me the feedback, or given you the feedback, or even here on the live, they're giving the feedback that they feel so open to receive whatever it is that's coming through. Like even for me, like I don't feel like I have to question what I'm receiving, right? Like I don't feel weird about this thing that is coming through or whatever. It just feels good. And then in turn it's helped me even in my own practice, right? Like, to feel that freedom within myself, and release that self limitation, because I've been given that space in a container that showed me the embodiment of what that feels like. So then I can take that in my own practice and then move forward with that, right? And so, and then hopefully even, take some of that essence and apply it to my, to whatever community I build or anything like that. And so, and I think that that's true, and I love what you said, doing things my way, like, oh, it can only be one way or the other. It can be many ways. And then also like stifling people, like that, what you said about, oh, you only said you have to say only 4 things and it has to be, and you said 5, like that. It's difficult. I know for me, I would feel so frustrated
Yeah,
because I would feel silenced, you know and nobody wants to feel silenced in any, and especially when you're trying to communicate with spirits. Like, that's the
exactly.
last thing that you want. And so, at least, I mean, again, this is all opinion, guys. We're having this conversation, and we're opening up about this, and of course, take what resonates, and what doesn't resonate, maybe marinate with that and see where maybe, where it's sitting with you, right? But I think that it's important for us to recognize that safety in these environments are important, and not only in intuitive development, in healing modalities too, like such as, if you're, this can apply to even if you're seeking a community to do an ayahuasca ceremony, or any sort of deep healing. You want to make sure that you're seeking those places that feel safe. Otherwise, you know it defeats the purpose, right? And so, I really love those things that you mentioned, the intention, seeing if there's freedom in the space and communication, and then also, if there's flexibility as well, so that you can express in the way that you do, and then potentially also learn from other people, because everyone's going to be expressing differently.
Right.
So I guess I would say, if someone was seeking for structure, like maybe someone wants more structure, how can we
Mhm.
bring structure into a space without making it stifling then? Like without making it so like difficult to navigate.
So I guess I can only really speak for myself. So I know one important piece is establishing time frame, like working. So it's like if you say you have 15 minutes to do a reading, it's kind of like you're drawing a box, like you work within this box, and that time frame is going to require you won't be able to be as completely free flowing, because it will have to be condensed within that box. The other thing would be have some general guidance and ground rules. So, for example, I'm just gonna speak specifically here. So, for me, in my circles, I will, especially people who are new, who have never done it before, I will give them guidelines. I'll say,
Mm,
this is what you can do. You can speak it this way. I can give you meditation, and you can give this many pieces of information about, if you feel like it, and then you can stop and ask the group. So I'll give general directions. I think having a template is good, as long as it doesn't become too stringent. So in other words, it's like giving guidance, but allowing some deviation from that guidance, allowing it to
mm,
happen in the moment. And, so uh, instead of saying, someone showing up for example, has never done mediumship before, and being like, just do it, go ahead, see what happens. Like, instead of being that free and open, it's like, well, this is how you can do it. Let me build a box for you. If you color outside of that box a little bit, that's fine. That's okay. That's you. That's your stroke. That's how you do it. But I'll give you some guidance. And so, yeah, I think having general rules, and then allowing for deviation from it is a way to keep some structure. I feel like I'm missing something. So I think another way is the community aspect itself, because even if there are minor deviations from this set of guidance between each person that goes, there are certain things that are constant with everybody. So, for example, you get to a circle, there's 5 people there. You decide to go maybe third or last because you've never done it before. You get to see how other people do it. They'll do it their way, but essentially they will connect with a person in spirit, person or a guide in spirit. They'll give some information. They'll typically stop and ask, hey, does anyone understand this? They'll have a conversation back and forth with somebody. And then afterwards, we'll talk about it. Being able to see the guidance at play and also how some people deviate in their own ways from that guidance also in its own way kind of provides some structure because you're working within the perceived rule book of the group.
That makes so much sense. I love that, because then what that brings into the space is the feeling of, okay, this is kind of like general, and maybe this is how I can fit into this general space. Like, this is how I can kind of bring my energy, my essence into the space. And then being able to be received in that, in that space, which obviously, and I love the fact that you're saying, not giving, like, not because the freedom is not there, but giving a little bit of guidance is a good idea, especially if you're not familiar, if you're, especially, for mediumship, right? If it's your first time wanting to develop this skill set, or maybe you've never done it, or maybe you've received it, but maybe it's just difficult for you to maybe have like maybe some focus, like having a little bit of guidance to get yourself started, and then but still feel like you don't have to be in that box every single time, that you can also, and that is allowed in the space too. When you notice that these things are being allowed, then you know that you're in a place of safety. So so because I know that personally for me, some structure brings a little bit of safety to me, because then it kind of gives me an idea of like, where am I going, what is happening, I don't know what am I doing. So it's just nice to have a little bit of structure, but I also don't want to feel stifled by the structure
Mm,
either, to the point where it's like, oh, if I don't do it this way, I deviate, then I'm messing up, and then you kind of get in your head, and then it's just like it's over, right? And that's the last place that you want to be in when you're doing intuitive development. The last place that you want to be is in your head, trying to figure out if you follow number one, number two, number three. You kind of want to allow yourself to flow, right? And so yeah, so I'm so happy that we're opening this conversation, and I'm kind of curious to know, for everyone that's watching right now, do have you had any experiences in the past where you may have felt unsafe in a space, and can you share with us what was the experience, and maybe we can give you some feedback on what to look for next time, or maybe we can just talk about it. We can just open that conversation. But Fabrice is saying, thank you guys for providing this safe container. You're reaching people all around the world who need these sacred spaces. And that's true. I mean, believe it or not, like, so for example, even for Fabrice, he's located in Mauritius.
mhm,
And over there, they don't have as much of a new age community, spiritual community like we do here in the US. So he is kind of like, guided online to seek these communities so that he can, express this part of himself that he may not be able to express freely in person in, where he lives. So that's why these spaces are so important, that these online spaces, because there are parts of the world where I didn't even think about, right? Like that kind of opened my eyes that, these safe spaces online are needed. And so,
mm,
so you're so very welcome. And thank you, Maurice, for opening the circles,
oh,
every
yeah.
week.
It's such an honor and a pleasure to do it myself. It's I really do find a lot of joy in watching other people. I think it's probably also because one of my things I'm supposed to do when I'm here is like kind of like opening other people's channels up and like opening their doors and like because it's such a joy for me to see like, oh, that's how you do it, like that's how you work. Oh, that's so cool. Like for me, that because it's endless. There's innumerable amount of ways to achieve the same result. So
I
yeah.
love that so much. That and I think that's the reason why it's so beautiful, because when we kind of when that's the beauty of it, is that freedom allows you to see the beauty of each person for what they are, and
Mm.
not for what you want them to be, or to stay in the cookie cutter thing, but to kind of like see them for who they are truly. And so Cece was saying, So just being with a fellow classmate who did not do readings like how it was taught, so I felt unsafe practicing with them. That's what Cece's saying.
Mm.
So basically, Cece, you're saying that when you were with a classmate who would do readings in a different way, or they just don't do readings at all. Hi, Arlene, welcome. So I'm just trying to figure out what you were saying then. She also was saying, she was asking a question earlier, which I didn't realize. So does that mean the facilitator also look out for individuals who do not follow safety? Oh, that's a good question. That's a very good question.
Yeah, yeah. If I read it. So it does. Yeah, so if there is a person who is behaving in an unsafe way or a way that's unsupportive or is abrasive to the group, yeah, in my opinion, it's the facilitator's job to address it. I mean, I guess depending on the specific of the situation, either immediately as it's happening, at the very least, one-to-one, talking to the person personally and being like, hey, you can't do that here, and not in this space anyway. I've had to do that a few times. So typically it's like, I mean, I guess a couple times in circle, or maybe like once, but like a couple times outside of circle, I've had to kind of had a side talk with people like, okay, if you're going to be in this space, you do have to you have to be supportive of other people. You can't put anybody else down, kind of thing. So yeah, in my opinion, it is a facilitator's job to do that. Let me grab my charge. I'm going to grab my charge. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so that's a good question, Cece. And one of the things that I've been it's this has been a theme for whatever reason um for the past I don't know, I don't know, like for the past month or so in my own life and the own circles that I've been part of, where safety has been a conversation or a conversation starter for us. And so we all get to play a part too, like even the individuals, as participants, we also get to bring in that intention of safety, right? And so important to to bring in that intention of that supportive energy, bring in the intention of openness, bring in the intention of flexibility, bringing in the intention maybe of curiosity, of like staying curious to see how other people do things and staying open to receive them. But then also bringing in the intention of assertiveness. If we feel unsafe, speaking our truth and saying, hey, this doesn't feel safe to me, right? If you feel like you want to do it, or if you feel invested enough to share that. But then you also have the choice, right, to just walk away from a space. That's another thing that I was going to say too. Any space that feels like you can't walk away from, that doesn't feel very safe to me.
Oh,
You know what I
that's
mean?
something I forgot.
If there's
Yeah.
no freedom to come in and out of the space, I don't know about this. This feels a little intense. And that's one of the reasons why I love your circles, is because I can come in when I can, and when I can't, I don't have to feel any sort of way, because you're not making it weird. You're not telling me like,
No,
how dare you did
that's
not
another
come to
thing.
circle,
I'm glad that you mentioned that specifically too, because like I know in other circles, the reason why I conduct my circles the way that I do, that's another reason, because I'd rather people have the feel like they're free to come and go as you please. There's no obligation to come. You can come once and never come again. You can never come. You can come every week. You know what I mean? For me, it's like, because I know there are some other practitioners who are like, you pay for a package and you have 10 and you come and you're expected to come these days. And it's like that, I'm sure, and there's no shade to them. Like, I'm sure that works for some people, and some people, I'm sure some people like it that way. They like to do it like that up front. But for me, it's like, just tell me when you're coming. Just tell me when you're coming. Preferably like before the day of, because then I can kind of plan for it. But like, just tell me if you want to come, and there's no pressure, no nothing. And if you say you want to come and you end up not being able to come, fine, it's okay. Don't worry,
Yeah, I love that. I love that about your circles too. And so I really hope that that everyone really, this is important for us to have this conversation. And I say it's important. It's important. Why is it important? Because your safety, your spiritual safety, is paramount. And I kind of wanted to open up the conversation about something that Nicole also suggested. You mentioned some, if y'all are following Maurice on Instagram. I can't remember. I think it was like 2 months ago, where you did some sort of affirmation thing online with someone about I think it was about abundance or money, and then there was
Mm.
something that happened right after. So
Oh yes.
And I kind of wanted to open up that conversation because this is important too for everyone to know. And so tell us a little bit about what happened, Maurice. I'll let you take the wheel on that one and let us walk us through what happened, and so that we can open up the hearts and the minds of people on this.
Okay, well, let me take myself back. So, my partner, my girlfriend, she was following this person online, or maybe she was following. She just would see her pop up online, and she would be the type to a practitioner. She would give like advice about how to invite abundance into your life and what to do. She gave very specific details about what you should do to, rituals and things that you should do to invite such and such into your life. And there's this one that she put up, and it was for abundance, and it involved like going out getting a candle, herbs, and doing a very specific ritual thing. That's not really my kind of thing, like I believe in ritual as long as the intention is there, and it's kind of, for me, it kind of has to be from the inside rather than from the, I don't know, this is still the way that I see things. But for me personally, I'm not that much into very specific ritual, putting a candle on the south end of the room because that's going to make something happen. But I was like, cool, like let's do this thing. Like, we both would like more abundance in our lives, and it's a fun thing to do with my partner. Like, well, whatever. And I can tell you what it was too. It's like you had to go, and it required going out to buy things. And at the time, I didn't think that was anything, but like I'll come back around to why that's like an important piece of this. But you have to go out and buy things. You have to buy a green candle, I think catnip, some olive oil. You have to like coat the candle in olive oil and like some herbs and roll it in the herbs and carve a rune in it, like a combination, like a kind of like she took two runes and like smashed them together, and like you have to carve that symbol. There's this whole very specific thing, and then you burn it, and you burn it all the way down, and it goes all the way down, and you infuse it with this intention for money. And so what happened? So that happened. We both did it together. The candles both took forever to burn, but like we watched them together. And actually, mine was like it almost finished, and like it was completely done, all the way. Like it burned all the wax down. It was just a flame, and I was like, oh, I'll go to sleep. It'll burn away by itself. So just for me specifically, I'm not sure if I told you this part, because it's embarrassing, but like it, I had it sitting on like a slab of selenite. You've seen those selenite like slabs, right?
Yeah.
And I had like on a glass bowl, like a small glass bowl on top of a selenite. Just I was like the heat, there's just something to protect the surface from the heat. And I went to sleep, and I woke up, and I wore glasses, so like I woke up and I looked over at the bowl like, oh, is it done? And it was done, but like the bowl looked black and it was blurry, of course, because I didn't have my glasses on. I was like, what's black over there? So I put my glasses on, and I realized that the whole bowl was charred, completely black, as if like flames had erupted in that bowl. And I was like, holy
Wow.
crap. And like the room was completely smoky, and I was like, whoa. And there was no wax or anything in the bowl. Everything had been burned, like nothing. It was dry. And so I looked at the selenite slab. It was white. It had been bleached white from the heat. So like what probably happened, or no, what definitely happened in the sleep is that there was like a conflagration in that bowl that could have potentially like burned everything down. And
Yes.
yeah, so I was like, so that was the first thing. I was like, oh my God. And then I realized I'm like sniffling, and I'm coughing up yellow phlegm. And at first I'm like, well, is it because I was breathing in smoke all night? Is that like,
Yeah.
but then that didn't go away, and I ended up being sick for like 2 weeks. But after like I think it was the 2 week mark, we're like, first of all, our money's getting worse. Like our financial situations, both of us, like was like plummeting. And we're like, we're just waiting, like maybe we're clearing things. Maybe this is a part of it. You got to go through it first to like gain things. And it was really my partner. She was like, do you suppose what we did like made it worse for us? And when I felt about it, because I never had stopped to feel inwards about it, the answer was a loud yes. And I was like, well, was this intentional? Did the practitioner do this intentionally? The answer was yes. And it was like,
Wow.
well, was this to her benefit somehow? And the answer was yes. So when we kept diving into it, we realized that what this specific I won't give this person away. But like specifically, the intention was to post this thing. She has quite a bit of following, and kind of leech the wealth energy off of everyone who followed through with her words. So the word. So in other words, like she even put the words up on the screen so you can read them. And what she did was infuse this kind of leeching energy into the words. And then you go out and literally give your money away to buy these things that she told you to buy. So it creates this kind of like energetic cord that was connecting directly to her. And when I really looked at it, it looked like countless spider webs going from her to straight into, it was her chest, like her heart area, her stomach area, and her sacrum. This is where she was drawing this energy into her body. And so when we came to that conclusion, we were like, holy crap. So let's actively sever these cords then. Let's actually, if this is the case, because we're still like, we don't know. And we didn't really fully want to believe that was the case. Like, if this is the case, let's actively sever the cords and the hooks and remove them and seal our energy off. We did that. Next day, I got better. So that taught me an important lesson, something that I knew already, but like not every, these words I think are important. Just because a person practices spiritual work or does some sort of spiritual practice does not inherently make them a good person. This is a hard lesson I had to learn over the years. I mean, this wasn't when I learned that. I knew this already, but this is just me kind of like doing a thing. And as a matter of fact, there are so many, maybe equal amounts of people who are practicing spiritual work who are inherently not good people and actively not good people and know what they're doing. It's not that they're accidentally, drained your energy. It's like, no, people are using this energy to pull from other people. So this is the energy. There are people in this world that believe that the only way that you can succeed is to take from other people. So, some people will literally just rob and steal. Other people will take your energy. They'll trick you. They'll kind of, because you have to give it away. No one can take your energy. Let me be clear about that. No one has the power to take or steal your energy. You must always give it away. Always. All they can do is trick you into giving it to them. So there are people who will trick you into giving you their energy. And there are many, many practitioners out there. Now I'm telling you this, I don't know how many people are watching this, but look out for it, because once you know that this is the thing, it becomes pretty apparent which ones are actually trying to be there for you and help you and who are trying to benefit themselves. And it's sad because it is a lot, probably more than you realize, of people who are behaving in this way. But anyway, so I believe that through this ritual that only benefited herself, these very specific details that you had to follow. She's very explicit. You have to do it this way. It linked into my. It felt like my vital force was being drained. So even before, like I felt physically. I felt physically ill, and that following couple weeks, if I had no energy, I couldn't work out. Like my appetite was bad, my digestion was bad. It wasn't just like I had a stiffly, snuffly nose and I was coughing up phlegm. My vital life force felt like it had been drained. And I realized, like, because she linked into my roots. What do your money and resources correspond with in your energetic system? It's the roots, it's the sacrum. And hopefully I'm not missing any parts of that. I haven't thought about it or talked about it in a while, but this was my experience, and this was just recently too. It was kind of terrifying. And when I look back at her videos, I'm not going to get on a whole long thing about this because this could be a whole nother podcast, and maybe I don't even want to talk about it here, but there's specific symbolism that some of these people will use, reoccurring symbolism that you'll see even in mass media, even in music and things, that this woman was using. It really subconscious, and she wouldn't it'd be like behind her head. It might be like a little thing on her shirt, might be a little thing that she might pan to when she's moving the camera around. But I started noticing this reoccurring symbolism, and this not only they can use the symbolism as linking into the darker stuff or whatever, but also showing their solidarity to like the elite, that they are down and that they are part of this, and that they are willing to fill in the blank to benefit themselves. So again, not gonna get all specific about that. You'll run into that stuff yourself, I feel like, now that I'm talking about it. But just like look out for that stuff. these are become strong indicators. The biggest indicator is how you feel after you've interacted with them. I could sum that up to say.
Listen, and what the intention of this conversation for everyone here listening is not, or watching either now on the replay, please don't be scared, but be aware, be discerning. The purpose of us sharing this is so that you can practice discernment within yourself, right? So if something doesn't feel right, or maybe feels like it's not aligned with what you usually do, kind of like that was already like a red flag for Maurice. But
Yeah.
he, we all do that. We're human. Sometimes if you feel like this is not something that I usually do, but I'm going to still do it anyway, is it really aligned with your human design? I would even say, drop back into your human design and follow your authority, right? Like we talked about human design. We had beautiful Sunny here talking about human design. You can go back and watch that video so that you can and you can find out what your human design for free online. But I would say follow your authority. Maybe you're still practicing that, then use your pendulum. Use your pendulum and ask spirit, or maybe you want to pull some cards for yourself, right? And why am I telling you, oh, come to me or come to Maurice? Because I want you to follow your guidance. Yes, we're here to support you. Of course, I am happy to support, and Maurice is happy to support, but we're not going to be available 24/7. So it's important to teach you how to fish, right? And so that when you go out there and when you're watching, readers, and you're watching people, you want to practice discernment. How does it feel and settle in your body when you watch their videos? Does it settle and it makes you feel a little, does it make you feel a little tired? Does it make you feel energized and inspired? What are the feelings that you're having when you're connecting to these people, so that you can actually take action and say, okay, maybe I do need to disconnect from this, right? So you may want to start thinking about the people that you follow and think about, okay, is what is the intention behind this person? What is the imagery or the words that they're using? The words are going to be a huge telltale sign, right? If they're telling you you have to do this, or if it's fear-based, then you want to question. I want to invite you to question that. Like if it's fear-based, you want to definitely say, okay, it's an invitation to say, okay, well, why is this person using fear to pull on my strings? And then also desire, right? Are they using desire, those desires that we have? Social media is a huge plethora of desire mongering that is out there, right? Like the old, especially on Instagram, right? And I'm not really familiar with TikTok, but I know for Instagram, there's a lot of desires that are really, really thrown to us, and that's the reason why. How do we feel after we watch this content? And so, like, discernment for not only for spirit, for people in the spiritual community, but also anyone that you're following for anything, right? Like, is this person inspiring me, or is this person taking away from me? And then we want to really, or is this person helping me, right? So like, what is the intention, right? Going back to the intention that Maurice was mentioning at the beginning, and so it's really interesting. The what you're saying about, how in the journey of, like, you did something and then you went and you had to go out, buy, you didn't even have these things, you had to go buy them, and that was even part of the ritual.
Right.
Is that you going and buying these things was actually part of the ritual, because it was given, and then you were using the specific combination of the runes, who most likely, we don't know what's the intention behind people,
Right.
and these symbols, right? And so, like, what are the intentions? And so discernment is a huge aspect of what you want to practice in your journey. And so someone was asking, how do we practice protection online? I'll let you answer yours, and I'll tell you mine.
So one thing I just wanted to mention was that every step of the way, when it came to collecting the items for this ritual, didn't feel right. It didn't feel good, but I just felt like I decided I'm going to do it, so I'm going to do it. So one of the things was I went to the gem shop, and like I went to get the stuff, and like even as I'm buying them, I really don't. I'd rather not buy these things. Like I kept feeling that, but I kept ignoring that.
Mm.
And another red flag. I got there, I got to the cash register, didn't have my wallet.
Wow. I mean,
And I was
spirit was protecting you, honey.
trying,
Spirit was trying to protect you. Yes.
and I was like, oh, like, I'm sorry, like I guess I'll come back. And the man there was like, you know what? Take it. You can come back tomorrow, whenever other day, and
Wow.
just come back. And I was like, I promise I will be back today. Like, I promise. Like, thank you so much. Like, so like that, and then like having to. So I did that. Came back, had to drive back out there, like to just pay. Like just all this driving back
Yeah.
and forth. So like every part of it just felt like it was like it didn't feel easy, and it didn't light me up, and it didn't make me feel impassioned and like, oh yes, this is good. Like if it doesn't feel like that, like don't do it, no matter what it
Mm.
is. So if you're listening to a person tell you to do this, that, and it doesn't light you up on the inside, it doesn't like make you feel that inspiration to do it and follow through, don't bother. Matter of fact, it could be actually harmful, like it was for me, because I was sick for 2 weeks. It wasn't like I got
Mm.
little sick for like a couple of days. 2 full weeks. Like, why am I still sick? It doesn't
Yeah.
make
Oh
any
my
sense. I'm doing
gosh.
all the stuff to heal myself, and solve within that one day of intentionally disconnecting from this woman. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and then okay, so in protecting yourself online, just remember what I said. No one can take anything from you. So like, I'm glad that you stopped to say that, Jikara. Like, you don't need to be afraid. Matter of fact, they need you to be afraid if you're going to
Mm-hmm.
be taken from.
Exactly.
So think about even this money ritual. This was feeding off of the people who were afraid to be broke or afraid to not have money. Do you know what I mean? And needed that fear in order to breach their energetic system. The simple answer to that is like, don't be afraid. No matter what they say, no matter what they tell you, everything that they tell you in terms of trying to make you afraid is the trick. Like,
Exactly.
think about like, if you want to even get religious, like, think about like the devil and like this, like, the only way that the devil is able to reach you is to trick you into thinking that you are in danger or that you should be afraid. This is the only way that they can breach you. This is the only way that these things that can harm you can actually breach you, is if you believe that there is something to be afraid of. So I don't really necessarily think that you need to necessarily like smudge your phone or like, draw symbols and stuff. Like, you can, but that's more to tell your ego that you're safe than it is to actually actively do something, if that makes sense. Because as long as your ego believes that you're fine, you're fine. But like, as soon as the ego's like,
Yes.
well, I don't know, and then like, if it takes you making affirmations, doing chants and things to believe that, please absolutely do that, please. But like, the point is to just don't be afraid. Use your discernment. If it doesn't feel good, don't follow through. Don't listen. Don't take things into your ears that you uh, A, don't trust, B, haven't vetted, or C, just feels wrong. Like, if it starts to feel wrong, turn your stomach or make your head hurt, that's a pretty good indicator. Like, okay, this person isn't. I don't like the way this person feels. Like, in other words, it's enough to be like, I don't like this person.
Right.
Even if your ego can't make up a reason, don't let that be like, well, there's no reason why I shouldn't like them, so maybe I should like. No, it's enough to be like, I don't like this.
Yes. Yes. And I've learned my lesson with that too, because even in the spiritual community, I have found my own situation where I've had issues with people that I gave them an opportunity because I was ignoring the red flags. Because again, what you said about like, well, there's no reason for me not to like them. Like maybe I'm making, like maybe it's just me, but no, it was my intuition telling me you do not need to be interacting with this person.
Yeah.
And then I ended up having a situation, and then I had to release myself from. So it was interesting. So that's why we want to make sure that we listen. That intuition is very, very important to listen to. And so, like, for some of you, you were asking like, how do we know if a place is safe, or how do we know when we feel safe? You will know that because your body, or your spidey senses, whatever, however you connect to spirit, because everyone's going to have their claries in different ways. Some of you are clarisentient, some of you are clairvoyant, some of you are clairaudient, some of you are claricognizant. You're gonna have some sort of hit intuitively, so you want to make sure that you listen to that. And maybe you can, instead of like jumping into the space right away, maybe you can give yourself a little bit of space and say, okay, well, how do I really feel about the space? And then kind of observe, and then even have conversations with the person directly. And the person can probably tell you, oh, my intention is this and that, and they might sound great, but how do you feel around them? That's the important
Mm.
part. feeling, the feeling around them. How do you feel around? Does it feel? I can tell. Can I tell you something? I can tell when someone's lying to me. I can tell. I can't. I don't know how to explain it, but I can just tell when someone, and they will make it sound like it's perfect and everything is great, and I'm just like, you are lying through your teeth. And but I'm not gonna tell them that. But I'm just like, I just keep it inside. I'm like, okay, and I just move on. And I'm starting to realize that I was like, okay, I just need to like understand that this is a thing, and I just need to like understand that this is my intuitive, guidance. So recognizing, okay, you'll feel that. So however that shows up for you. And then another way that you can potentially maybe see, maybe you're not feeling the claries right now, going back to your pendulum, or maybe even doing a little bit of journaling before you even join a space, right? Or maybe once you join a space, maybe giving yourself like an opportunity to just try it out and see how you feel inside, and then pay attention how you feel. That initial feeling, if you don't feel right away, honey, you don't belong there. Okay, period. And I have spoken, you know um of course, that's my truth. And again, take, like I said, take everything that I say with a grain of salt, and you apply it in the way that you feel that is best for you. And so
Exactly.
Mila, she's a first timer here, she says, I feel like rituals are so personal, downloaded intuitively from our guides, ancestors. I'm so sorry that this happened to you and your partner. She was just mentioning that, so I just kind of want to share that
Yeah,
with you.
an important lesson, and but like Mila, absolutely, like absolutely. This is how I feel about ritual. Like if someone is handing you a ritual and saying you have to do it this way, and that way, I'm not under the belief that it's going to be very effective at all. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're doing a ritual, it must come from the inside. It's not that it's not
Yes.
that I don't believe in ritual. That's outrageous. Your ritual has, for me, if it's going to be effective, must come from the inside. It has to be personal, and it has to be something that you, in the same way that like I didn't feel not a one aspect of this ritual, not one part of this ritual did I feel about. But if there was something that I'm like, you know what, like I feel inspired to go buy some incense and write my intentions out and then burn it. Like if that's coming from the inside, that's the type of thing that's actually going to have an effect. It's when people have those things and then try to give those things to other people that like stuff kind of goes awry, or doesn't work out the way it's supposed to. And yeah, I mean, thank you for saying that. But again, it's something that we both needed on our journey to like really be like, to really take us by the shoulders, like, don't forget, it's something that we both know, but it's like, don't forget who you two are. Don't forget what you two have access to. You don't need this. You don't need this. As a matter of fact, doing these things will likely cause you harm. You don't need this. Remember yourselves. That was the biggest message from that experience, was like, remember yourselves. So
And then also, when we try to and then I'm just, it really makes me sad that happened to you, because and then that's actually happening out there. Like, it just makes me so sad, because it's like, why are we still doing this? But it's whatever. I know that things are going to shift. I have faith that things are going to shift. We're clearing so much, especially with a group that I've created. We're doing so much clearing for this group. It's not even funny when I tell you, Maurice, we have every month we have programs, collective things that show up, and it's because at the collective consciousness level, we're all kind of playing a part at the subconscious level, based on our karmic entanglements and based on our interactions with each other, because we're all part of the oneness. So we're all part of that union of the universe. And so but by clearing these things, my prayer and my intention, and this is one of my I was telling my group yesterday, when we were ending the call, this is my calling. One of my callings is the beloved method, to teach people how to recognize their relationships beyond the ego, and connect to their record, so that they can learn beyond that. And the second one is to educate people about collective consciousness, and how the collective consciousness plays a part within ourselves, and then we are also playing a part in that. So the more we clear ourselves, the more we heal ourselves, the more we create that space of openness for ourselves, then the more we ignite that for those around us. And I know that I sound like a broken record with this, but that's just the message, right? For that spirit wants to like, I guess, allow through me all the time. And so the more we do that, then the less of that we will see. But we got to also recognize that there's, discernment is an important aspect of our spiritual thing. And so, and then I was actually talking to a friend of mine a little while ago, and I was telling her, I don't want to cast judgment on people. But when she brought the word discernment, discernment is what. So don't worry about, like, oh, am I judging? I don't want to be judgmental. Absolutely, we never want to be judgmental, but you want to drop into your heart and say, okay, is this aligned with my values?
Right.
And that's not judgmental, that is discernment.
Right.
Right. And so, like, when we practice discernment, then we get to advocate for ourselves and those that we care about. Right. And so, because we get to advocate for ourselves, we get to have that power within ourselves to advocate for our safety and for the safety of the places that we go to as well. And so, but anyway, I kind of wanted to share something here. Cece was saying, years ago, I felt a calling to find a member, oh, sorry, not member, a mentor for shamanism, and reached out to someone on how to find one. And she didn't want to talk to me for fear of me taking her powers or guides, as she was a shaman. Um, I don't think anyone can really take the powers. No one can really take your powers. So I feel that person was probably operating from fear.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, that's like frustrating to read. Yeah, because like I feel like I'm gonna keep saying this maybe throughout this talk here. No one has the power to take anything from you. No one can break your heart. No one can steal your energy. This whole narrative about like vampires and leeches, there's an aspect of us handing our energy over to them. This is how the world works. This is law. This is the same rules that like the powerful elite run off of. So no one can take anything from us. They have to get us to consent. They have to tell we have to be willing to give it over to them. So first of all, no one can take your guide. Like if they really said that, they're out there. No one can take your guides from you. That's not even. It doesn't work like that. They're not. They're not objects. They're so it can't. You can, that doesn't. Yeah. So I'm like I'm kind of laughing at that, but in any case, no one can take anything from you. So the fear that they had of you. Well, let me read this again. And then
Taking her
refer to
powers.
taking her powers or guides as she was a shaman. No one can take your powers. No one can. Can anyone steal your eyesight? Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's the same
exactly.
thing. Do you know what I mean? Like if you have a sense, physical or non-physical, no one can take that from you. It's not possible simply. So that person absolutely was operating out of fear. I don't know if they're making some sort of excuse because they didn't want to talk to you or something. I have no idea why they would say something like that. And also kind of had the audacity to refer to themselves as a shaman, because no true shaman believes that. This is, I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe I sound judgmental, but to me, that's outrageous, misleading, and it makes me. I think it triggers me a little bit because it's like, how misleading can you be to someone who's actually reaching out to you for guidance? Like,
Yeah,
how,
for
how could you
support.
how could you how could you call yourself a teacher and say something like that to somebody? Even just insinuating that to somebody, that's going to make them go off into the world, and now they have this idea in their mind. Now that you've like incepted this idea into their brain that now they're going to be projecting out onto the world. That's massively irresponsible to me, and it honestly it makes me feel away inside. That's kind of nasty for them to do. I mean, granted, maybe they're just misguided or going through their own stuff, but yeah, I can kind of confirm with you, CC, that that's ridiculous, not
Yeah,
possible.
so no, you're not gonna. Don't. I would say seek someone else. You're probably being protected at this point by
Yeah.
spirit for that, from that person. So, Fabrice was saying something that I thought was very interesting that I kind of wanted to bring to the table. Sometimes we do things in regards to our partner, even if we feel deep inside it's not right. Oh my gosh, Fabrice, you're so right about that. And it's something that I have to look out for also. Sometimes with my husband too, because things that align for me don't necessarily align for him. We're two different souls, and we got to also recognize that. But sometimes these are lessons that we are meant to learn together, right? And so like for example, like that's how I feel with you and your partner, Maurice. That it was kind of more of a lesson that you you were meant to learn together. You were meant to work through this together, because you
Together.
kind of
And
help each other out through this.
exactly, and like it was there was a individual component to it, but like also we worked through it together. Like it was something that we both needed to experience on a spiritual level together in tandem with each other to be able to like kind of ping pong this idea, because it might not have come that clearly, that understanding of what was happening, if we didn't have each other to like talk back and forth to about it, you know, because we both had these kind of inklings in the back of our minds that might not have ever come to fruition if we didn't have each other as a mirror to bounce this off of. For me, I don't regret it at all. I don't regret it even a little bit, because like I know that I learned exactly what I needed to. I was sick for a couple of weeks, but like I'm better now. Like I'm
Now
cool.
you get to share this with us. Thank you for
And
that.
do you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I kind of did this for you. You know,
Yeah.
I see it in a way that like, and this is like a lot of my life anyway. Like if you watch my other things, you know my story or whatever. But like I feel like a part of my journey and part of the thing that I do here is like I kind of dive in on behalf of people. I dive deep into the waters. I come back out like, don't go over there. Don't go over there, okay? Because and then I can tell you like what's what's there, so you don't have to do it. You know, so I don't regret it. You know, I wouldn't be here being able to kind of share this with people if not
Thank
for
you
that.
for your service, Maurice. I just have to say that because I can't even imagine going through, you know. So thank you for that. I'm so grateful that you opened up about this and you're sharing this here on the channel, because I feel it's so important. And again, it talks about, this is part of the importance of safety in community and intuitive develop for community and intuitive development, because again, this was an intuitive development type of thing, right? Like, you know, practicing rituals and all this is all part of the spiritual expression of you. So you know, however that's going to look like for you, you know, you want to make sure that you're seeking things that are, you know, or doing things that are coming from your heart, and that you're feeling guided, you know, deep inside at the soul level, beyond the wants and the desires that they put, because that was, they catch you with the desires like the abundance and this and then have this and have that, and it's like, you know, these desires that sometimes can, and I'm not saying desires are bad, because I don't, you know, there's a sacredness to desires,
Mm.
but using that to pull strings of, to take away from us, that's when things can get a little, you know, on the wrong side of things, or on the unhealthy part of things. And Cece was asking a question that I kind of wanted to open up real quick about. I have my opinion about this, but I kind of wanted to share this with you, to see what your opinion was
Mhm.
about, is it possible for someone, a client, to do something bad to you if you do a reading or a healing session?
Is it possible? I mean, if you'd have to, in my opinion anyway, you'd have to allow it somehow. And I mean, it's not that difficult to allow it, especially if you're trying so hard to be of service to somebody. Um, yeah, it's not as if, I don't believe that they can just wish harm on you and then it is done. It would have to enter you somehow, you know, that they'd have to. So for example, maybe after a session they're not happy with it, they reach out to you, that they use some sort of words, or like, hey, you are this, you are that, I don't believe you, da 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 da, da, whatever. uh, if those words sink in and now either lower your vibration, open you up to fear, now have created an energetic link to them, they can, yeah, I believe that they can. At this, you'd have to, in my opinion, actively, first of all, notice what it feels like. You're reading this thing. How does it feel in the body? Where do you feel it in the body? Is this my feeling? Is it them? What is happening? Like stopping to be like, okay. Like I know I read this, but like go back. Was I coming from the heart? While as I was doing this work for them, did I feel as if I was giving them my all? Did I feel as if that it was coming from somewhere else from me and that it wasn't coming from me? Answer is yes, yes. Like if in that case, I would vet myself first. Like, wait a minute, okay, how did that session go? And then if the answer is like, no, actually, I know that this was coming from spirit. This was not me. And I was giving them everything that I was told to give them. That'd be the first layer. Second layer, I was like, okay, so if that's the case, why do I feel fear? Why do I feel like I'm less than, or and then like I kind of go through those motions. And then if I feel the need to, I might even actively disconnect like actively seek out if there's some sort of energetic cord that's connecting us, disconnect the energetic cord, because in my opinion as well, they would need to have some sort of energetic link to you in order to transfer whatever harm, quote unquote, that they would to you. So to answer your question, I believe yes, but you also would have to allow it somehow by way of like, maybe they are right, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I am phony, maybe you know what I mean, and you'd have to allow it somehow. But I want to hear your
You want to hear mine?
opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I would say I agree with you in that sense that, you know, if it's already within us, then it could potentially hook itself onto us. And that's absolutely, you know, because it's an energetic match. So I agree with that. Now, I would say that I'm going to add a layer to that. You ready? Okay. So the layer I'm going to add is the karmic layer. So if
Okay.
there is something from a past life, because listen, everyone that we interact with have a sacred divine reason that they're in our lives, including the crappy people that show up,
Right. Especially the
including
crappy
that
people.
boss that we don't like, including that, you know, the mother-in-law that we don't get along with. Like, all of them have a sacred purpose in our lives, and a lot of times there could be that karmic part of it. So I would do what Maurice is saying. Absolutely, like absolutely do that. Like do that little bit of like that check with yourself, and then go a step further and say, well, is there something karmic here that I may need to clear between me and that person? And this might be showing up to show me, to mirror maybe some energy that is available for me to clear and is ready to be released. And so
Right.
that's another layer that I would add
I
on to
agree.
that.
I agree.
Um,
Yeah.
but I don't think that they're doing anything bad. I think it's really serving us. That's the way that I see it. That's my perspective, is that I see it as, oh, this is serving me. Of course, in the moment, I might not think about it. I mean, I'm gonna be straight honest with you. At the moment, I'm like, I'm reacting to it, right? But later on, when I take the time to like, because I take the time to kind of like think about it later after I'm like calm and okay, then well, let me think about this. And then I'll be like, okay, how I ask that question, how is this serving me? What is this? What's in this for me? And so then I go that extra step there. So just an invitation for everyone. But yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I agree. No, I agree wholeheartedly. You know, and it's fun. I guess I don't really put it in those words, but you're exactly right. You know, these people that show up that we might disagree with, oftentimes we have a karmic tie. Not all karmic ties are some like long drawn out thing where we see this past life. Like sometimes the karmic ties is something from a past life that like we experience with a person that ties us to them in this lifetime. And so like there might be a person who you don't like the way that they talk to people, or they trigger you with fill in the blank. And it's like one of the purposes might be is to help them stand in your power, or help you stand in your power, or to remember this aspect of yourself, or to be more cleaner than they are. You know what I mean? Like it's so like you're exactly right, because once you can stop, and oftentimes it happens again well after the fact. But like
Yeah.
if you can look back and be like, okay, so what was that about? Why? What was that for? And you find what they were trying to kind of teach you, not actively, but what they were there to teach you. That oftentimes I feel like will free you from any potential harm or energetic connection as well, because then it's gone now. Like for example, like this is kind of how I see this practitioner. You know, it's like in the when I realized I was actually really livid. I was actually really mad about it.
Yeah, I
You
bet.
know,
Yeah.
I was actually very mad. You know, like
Yeah.
I hadn't felt that angry in a while. Not just because of
Wow.
like the direct harm, but like you call yourself a practitioner. You say that you're helping people. Like how dare you? It made me sick.
Yeah.
But also like it's like, okay, well that's why I'm here. Like I'm the opposition. You know, and it's like there's that piece, and it's like, okay, well now I can alert other people of the stuff that happened. You know what I mean? But this
Yeah.
is obviously after looking back. It took a little bit. You know, I had to like get better first before I can like stop and be like, okay, what was that really about? But yeah, I'm so glad that you said that, Jikara, because you're so right. I completely agree with that.
Well, and I agree with you too, you know, because there could be, again, in order for something to hook onto you, you have to have something, you know, it has to be somewhere inside, like a little sore part inside of us. And that's when we get to do, and that's part of the work, right? That's part of the work. And then when I talk about the work, it's like the shadow work, the, you know, the curiosity, the staying open to to explore ourselves in all of the aspects, to see that, you know, we're not always in the light, and then we do have some shadows. And so like we get to express, you know, we get to see, you know, these parts of us. And so so yeah, so everything I feel, I love this conversation. I really wish, like, I just want you more often here, because this is such a juicy conversation, and everyone is enjoying it, by the way. Rachel is here, and she was like, she's so happy to be here, and catching us live. And then so we're flowing, and I kind of knew it. Like, I was like visualizing before today, like yesterday, and I knew it was going to be just such a flowy conversation today. And it always is with you, Maurice. And then Gao is here, which,
Hey,
hi,
Gal.
Gao, we love you so much. And she's saying this is such a good conversation. Thank you for doing this. And then, yeah, this came up. Thank you to Nicole, because she's the one that came up with that conversation about safety in community. And then in that conversation, you know, you brought up I think she brought up what happened and what you posted on your Instagram.
Yeah.
And then we were like, yeah, we need to talk about this, so people know, and they can just, you know, they can be aware, you know,
Right.
not afraid, but aware, not
Exactly.
afraid, but aware. And so,
Yeah, you never hear me preach fear, because that I'd be like putting you in the hole. I'd be trapping you. You know, if I was be like, you got to watch out because you should be afraid. Like, I'd be damning you all. Like, don't be afraid though. Like, this is just so you know and understand. There's no reason to be afraid.
and Peggy is saying she was having trouble posting. I don't know what's going on with the chat. So I apologize if you had any issues with your chat. I haven't blocked anyone, I promise. I don't know what's going on with the chat on YouTube, but yes, it's open for everyone. But she was able to finally post that she was having trouble with it, and she said she just wanted to say that her mediumship sessions with Maurice are the most rewarding and empowering thing she's done, and it's because she felt so safe, and that is so true. That is so true. That is so true. And Gal is
That's
also,
so
look,
beautiful.
we're sharing some love for you today. She says, love that so much, Peggy. Maurice is amazing. My mentorship sessions with him has been so powerful and life changing. Yes, I
Thank you,
love it.
guys.
Yes,
Yeah, our sessions have been amazing. Yeah, yeah.
I love it. And then if this is your first time connecting to Maurice, I just kind of wanted to let you know that you can reach out to him directly to his website, ancientmademodern.com, and book a session with him there. He does mediumship. He also does Akashic record healing as well. It's a lot different than what I do, but it's very, very powerful. And I've received it personally, and it's been incredible. And he kind of, I mean, he really just like, he just feels into it, and he gives you what you need at that moment, right? Like, he just kind of taps into the consciousness of what is needed, and then he'll perform whatever. So it's not like you're gonna book him for just one thing. It's just like he just kind of uses all these tools for the healing session specific for you. So, you know, so that you'll be surprised what comes through. And then his Instagram is ancient.made.modern. And I highly recommend that you follow him, so that way you know when he's doing his next mediumship circle. So you're doing them on Wednesdays and Sundays, right? I think.
Yes. So Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern time and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I also just want to say, so when you go to my website and you click book now, every book now button will prompt you to email me. I have no automatic booking system on purpose. I want us to have a conversation before we decide to do anything. This is how people are like, I can't book on your website. I don't know why, but because I designed it that way. If you click book now, it's like, so you can, it doesn't matter which service that you click on, it will direct you to email me, or you can email me directly, ancientmademodern@gmail.com, or you can message me on Instagram. But I like to kind of connect with you first before we just jump into like money exchange. And like, I don't function like that. I prefer to have a conversation. And what else did I want to say about that? And just touching on what you just said, Jikara, too. So I'll tell you why he was here. So, I mean, yes, I give different services. I'll list different services that I do. But oftentimes when I'm doing any one decided service, I can't shut the other gifts off. So we might be doing a psychic reading, for example, but you might be receiving a healing at the same time. It doesn't really work like that for me. I only use the phrases and the words to kind of help the ego pick a thing and go with it, rather than to like, we're only doing this today. You know, like, I don't really work like that. So kind of touching on what you were saying, you don't really know what you're gonna. I don't know what you're gonna get. It's kind of I kind of give you what is required in the moment. I'll always ask you. I'll never do anything without you knowing, understanding what's happening. But yeah, it's never limited to just one thing typically.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I love you so much. And that's one of the reasons why I just love having you here and love to share you with the audience here. And then some people were like, "You're going too fast, Jikara, with the website." So here's the website again. For those of you, sorry if I went too fast. There's a website again, so you can book a session with him, and then also I'll post the Instagram and all that good stuff. So I don't know if you're open to maybe doing some readings for a couple people. Are you open for
Sure.
that today?
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. We got some readings today available. So if you want a reading, you can it's going to be a sample reading, something short, of course. If you wanted to book something deeper, then you can always go into his website or his Instagram and message him so that you can go a little deeper and do like a longer session. And so hopefully you were able to get it, Arlene. Sorry about how fast I did it. And yeah, so if you want a reading, let us know in the comments, and I know that they're gonna come through. Yes, people are here. People are here for it. Okay, so if you want a reading, how do we want to do this? Did you want to do just connect to their, or do you want them to ask a question, or how do you want to do it? You take
Let's
the
do ask
wheel.
questions. Let's do ask questions. So like
Ask questions.
that'll help to be a prompt. So like if people want to type a question in the chat, and then I'll just respond to that question. One thing I'm realizing is that I might have to switch my phone. This phone is dying. I have another one here, but this phone is dying, and I'm probably gonna switch in a moment. I have
Yeah,
like
that's fine.
12%, so I'm gonna like
Do
hop in.
you want to switch it now?
I might as well, right? I might as
Yeah,
well
might
just to
as
switch it
well. Yeah,
around.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
In the meantime, while people come in with their questions anyway, and so it's all good. So he's gonna switch his phone, y'all, and then he'll come back. But I just kind of wanted to mention, if your name is not on the as part of your of your um of your handle, please give us at least your first name so that we know. So that we know. And if you have any questions that are specific to your to like for a specific like loved one, or maybe you're open to receive a message from any loved one or any spirit guide or anyone, just let us know in the comments as well throughout from the question. So Real Truth is asking, I want to be intuitive and clairvoyant, so can I be psychic and a medium and I also want to channel? Okay, so I'm going to remove this one and I'm going to bring you in on the other one, Maurice. We're back. So quick.
Slightly less good camera, but I'm here.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. You can hear me. Okay, cool.
Okay, so yes, I can hear you. So I guess the question from Real Truth, she's saying, I want to be intuitive and clairvoyant so I can be a psychic and a medium, and I also want to channel, but I practice, but I don't see improvement. What can I do to develop these skills? Do I have a block? She wants to know.
The first thing that comes to me is that you said that you practice. I mean, I kind of want to ask. I know it's like kind of one-sided because it's typed, but like, so rather I'll just talk. The first thing is that if you're practicing alone, you're likely going to hit a wall. This is part of the reason why I do mediumship circles and create like a group setting. There's something about learning with other people and doing it from a combined space. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
now
good.
I can't hear you anymore.
Something about doing it with other people and working in a combined space. Crap.
Now I can hear you. Now I can hear you again. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your flow. Sorry.
No, it's no, that's not you that's interrupting. It's my phone slash connection. That's me. I apologize. My phone wasn't charged. Um, so basically, just to make it short, you'll benefit greatly from practicing in a group setting, in maybe a circle, or with other people who are also developing. It accelerates you and also gives you a mirror, because it's kind of like, in a way, it's almost like tickling yourself. It's kind of hard to accelerate and get better when you're just kind of sitting alone doing it. Uh, I don't believe necessarily that you have a block. If there's a block, it's kind of mental, and it's not necessarily something that needs to be removed by a practitioner. It'll be removed by kind of you understanding that you do have it, you already have it, uh, and you being able to prove to yourself that you have it. And oftentimes it's easier to prove to yourself that you have it if you're, for example, reading for other people, and you get the confirmations from other people, like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, yeah, the yeses, because the biggest blockage to your gifts, and so for me, the biggest tool I used to get past. So yeah, I don't believe that you're blocked. I think that it would benefit you to practice with other people, because I don't know this for sure, because I don't know you, but I kind of get the feeling that you might not practice with others a lot, or if at all.
Thank you so much. So hopefully that helped you. And then you were kind of cutting in and out. Just wanted to let you know. So I don't know if maybe your internet, you want to check your internet on your phone, or because the other one was fine. The other one was perfectly fine the
Yeah,
entire time.
yeah, it's
I
this,
just kind of wanted to let you know,
it's this one.
just so that way. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna solve for this. I'm not gonna solve for this. Can you hear me now? Or am I still cutting out?
Yeah, you were kind of cutting out. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna switch back to the other phone then, if that's the case. This absolutely will not happen. I'm literally going to AT&T like right directly after this. This will not happen again. Hold on.
No
Yeah,
worries.
you don't even understand. Like I was like, I tried to go last night, and yeah, it didn't work out. Safari. So I'm actually going to join back on this one. I think
On the
this will
other
make. I
one?
don't have a lot of battery. Yeah, I don't have a lot of battery left on it, but it's going to be.
Okay, so we'll keep you. I'd rather have you shorter time than not have you cut off.
Better.
Okay, so I'm gonna remove you from this one, and then there.
Oh
You're
my
back.
goodness gracious.
Okay, so much better.
Yeah,
So much
I
better.
know. Pain in the butt.
Okay. So I'm gonna I have a first timer, and I kind of wanted to give her um okay, Real Truth is asking, she doesn't see any things on the website. Is it under construction? On ancientmademodern.com. Ancientmademodern. Oh, about joining the circle. To join the circle, you want to do it directly through Instagram, I believe, right?
Yeah, you can reach out to me via Instagram or
Yeah.
email. But that's a good point. I didn't even put a there should be
Yeah.
like a little
You might
widget
want to put it
to
on
add
the
you to.
website. Yeah. So because people, okay, I'm gonna share the Instagram with you again, so that you can go there and message him Real Truth. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. In
Okay.
the meantime,
So
yeah, I'll solve for that. Didn't realize I didn't put
okay.
the circles there.
So Mila is her first time, y'all. So I'm gonna bring her in. She's first timer. She would like a reading, so I'd like to for her to
Sure.
receive a reading from Maurice.
Oh, it is on
Um,
the website, by the way. It's at the bottom of services. It's at the bottom of the page, by the way. So if anyone else here, just scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page on services page. It's there.
So Mila is asking, what can I do to help me honor the messages guidance I receive from my guides? They speak to me clearly, but I have a lot of resistance when it comes to embracing a new version of myself. How do I let go of fear and step into this new self?
So it sounds like the issue is trusting in the information that's coming in rather than the actually receiving of the information. Okay. So I can answer from my perspective, but I kind of wanted to tune in and see what they say. For you specifically, it might help you to, when you're receiving downloads, to write them down and make them real, personify them into the physical. There seems to be a difficulty with you being able to take in information that's like floating in the air and non-physical. It's harder for you to take that in as truth. If you can write it down, or especially if you can, as you're receiving, you just kind of like literally just allow your hand to move and write it out, and then read it afterwards, it might benefit you and make you more able to uh, honor and take in the information that's coming forth through you, because now it's made physical. The ego is saying, well, like, is this real? Is this true? But it's easier for you to accept it as true if it's something that exists in the physical world rather than something that's in your head or something that's just coming from the outside. The other thing, I mean, honestly, to me, and this is not me saying, hey, come to a circle, but like if you can find some sort of community that you can practice this and get the yeses, get the confirmations from other people, to me, this is one of the biggest pieces of medicine that you can take, is just getting confirmation from other people, letting you know that it is real and that it is actually happening. Yeah, maybe other people are different, but for me, I have a very logical mind, and despite how woo-woo my work is, like I do need the kind of structure and confirmation, and it took me quite a while of convincing myself that it was true before I felt comfortable just doing it actively for other people that weren't in circles. So yeah, it's maybe backwards as it might seem, because you know you're receiving information from your guides. When you're receiving information on behalf of other people, it kind of stretches out that muscle and works that muscle and makes you allows you to have more confidence in that muscle, in the same way that if you worked out your legs, you have more confidence in running, because now the muscle is stronger. Does that make sense?
Thank you so
Okay.
much. So hopefully, Mila, that helps you. And yeah, so I just kind of wanted to make sure that people that haven't gotten a reading from Maurice before were able to receive one. Hence the reason why I selected them prior to some of you that already posted on your on the comments here. So Nicole, she's saying she's open to receive a message from a loved one.
Okay. There's a man here. Not a lot of hair on his head, maybe even bald, but just definitely not a lot of hair on his head. Has some weight to him. I feel like he's like a kind of a larger kind of guy. Might even be pretty tall, kind of like a big guy. He's wearing what looks like a button-up shirt. Has a belly. Hair on his face, fairer skinned. He feels like a family member. I was quickly trying to get through this before my phone died. Okay. Who are you? What do you want to say? Are you family? Yes. Paternal side, I believe. Despite his size, he could be quite reserved. He didn't seem like a very loud person. He might have actually learned to be that way because maybe he was trying to shrink himself a bit because he was kind of physically large. Okay. So, what do you want to say? The message seems to have to do with the shrinking thing. So it's like, if I'm condensing this, it's like, you don't need to do what I did. You don't need to shrink yourself. As a matter of fact, that wasn't benefiting me at all, and it's not going to benefit you. There's no need to try to make yourself smaller in order to make others feel more comfortable. Expand freely. This is the best thing that you can do for not just yourself, but for everybody else. You inspire other people to do the same. While also allowing you to come to do what it is you came to Earth to do. There's no need to be afraid of any aspect of yourself. It's not just about you being free to be yourself. It's challenging you to do it, even within adversity, and even when others either seemingly or directly are discouraging you from doing it. Keep shining. You're extremely bright, and there's purpose in that. And he gives a really big, warm hug. This is directed at you, I feel. He points to his neck, something about his neck. I don't understand, but he's just pointing like even to the back of his neck. Yeah, and I'll leave you with his love.
Here comes Jazz, y'all. He's coming. My cat is Jazz.
Oh.
So hopefully that helped you, my love. She's saying people always take what I say the wrong way. It's best sometimes to refrain from saying anything.
This feels like maybe that's the opportunity to not shrink.
And then she was asking, this man was on the paternal side. I believe you said yes, right? Paternal.
It felt paternal, yeah. This is what I was feeling, yeah.
Okay.
If not maybe fatherly, but yeah, I felt like it was
from the paternal line of her tree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Well, hopefully this helped you, beautiful Nicole. And so let's see. We'll do one more, and then because you're probably like, what is the percentage you're in right now? Basically, he died from this. Okay.
I'm here. No. I'm on 4%. I said 5, but now it went to 4 after us.
Okay. No, he lives.
I'm here. I'm here still.
The phone lives. And then y'all can see my cat's tail right here. He's making his appearance. Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna quickly Fabrice is asking whatever comes through today with regards to the changes he's been going through.
Okay. And I will try to join on the other one again too.
Okay.
Yeah. But okay. Fabrice. Attention on the back of the neck. I feel achiness and soreness, but I feel like this is they're pushing this into me with regard to you. There's something, it feels like it's trapped in this area of the body from the past. I feel like that's why it's at the back. It's kind of affecting your throat energy and the ability for energy to move up and out the throat. For things to be translated outwards clearly and effectively from the heart space. There's a feeling of the need to release. Like I feel like I guess I can crack my neck, but the feeling of wanting to release something really needs to be released from this area. It's like pressure. This seems to be where at least some of your issues are emanating from, the current issues that you're experiencing right now. They show me the image of what looks like chips or something in like a some sort of like I don't know what that material is, but that kind of bag, that kind of like that makes that noise when you open it. Why? Show me that. I hear the word reduction, so maybe this is a comment on maybe diet. So maybe reducing. I'm going to generalize and say processed foods. How this is affecting your the functionality of your physical vessel, but like it's the tool that you use to manifest or bring anything into the physical. So it's running through this filter and it's being distorted by some of the foods that you're putting in your body. And you know which foods those are because you know how you feel when you eat them. I'm not going to decide exactly what foods those are for you, but like there's foods that you are reacting to that you know you're reacting to, but you still kind of eat. Reduce those things because it's affecting your instrument. Those foods also vibrate an old aspect of yourself that you're trying to grow out of, and this is one of the things that keeps you anchored in that old way of being. And I'll leave you with that because I'm trying to speed through it.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. So hopefully that helps you, Fabrice. I know I needed to hear that.
Mm.
Thank you, Maurice, for that.
You're welcome.
And then let's see. I'm gonna see. I'm going back up. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm trying to keep up with all of the questions. Arlene is asking about, is the cardinal who speaks to her an ancestor? If so, which one, and what do they want her to know?
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm on 1%, so I'm probably gonna switch in a second here.
Okay.
But I got the question. I hear it.
Okay.
It's a woman. Maybe curvier bodily build. There's a lot of attention in the chest, so I'm not going to necessarily say that this has to do with the physical chest, but at least like something having to do with uh, a woman who is very able to express herself outwards, like someone with like good lung capacity, who I feel like could, like, if they were to like yell, you'd hear them from like a long ways away. Someone who can really like get their point across verbally. So I guess the answer to your question is yes, I believe it is representative of an ancestor. It feels like an ancestor that you had either met personally or at least knew of. Not anyone that you wouldn't have some awareness of. I see someone with lighter colored hair. It's straight textured. The way that she's appearing to me here, she's probably around age between 60 and 70. Not speaking to when this person might have passed away, but just this is the age that she's showing me at. Again, thicker bodily build, like curvier bodily build, it looks like. Healthy. It look like sturdy is what I get, like strong. She didn't feel meek. She felt like she had a big personality, hearty laugh, caring, like maternal, not necessarily maternal side, but maternal feeling. Like she had this motherly energy about her, and also was pretty protective. But kind of this energy of like you don't really want to mess with her.
Okay, so he'll come back. He'll come back. No worries. Bear with me. I'm gonna bring him back. So she's asking
Okay,
if it's her
hopefully I'm not
sister-in-law.
breaking up too bad now. Oh,
I
sister-in-law.
can hear
Okay.
you so far. So
Okay, good.
it was quick, unexpected passing, she said.
Are you her sister-in-law? It sounds like you got it. So first of all, that feels like a confirmation, but also the way that you said it might even be an indicator of how she might have spoken to people or expressed herself in general. She was kind of like, "You got it." Uh, okay. What do you? I like this is the point. I'd be like, "Well, did she look like that? Did she have those attributes?" I'm not gonna skip over that because I just want to give the message. What do you want to say then, if it's you? Let's take care of your heart. For some reason, like my logical brain wants to say, like, did she pass from something heart related or something? But she says those words first. Take care of your heart, as if to imply that if she did pass in some way having to do with the chest or heart stuff, or maybe even breathing, that this was as a result of, or at least a reflection of what was happening on the inside, involving maybe something like not being true to the self, self-betrayal, breaking one's own heart by way of not following through with the inner guidance that was being provided, like kind of going against what she knew was best for her, kind of thing. And I'm not necessarily talking about in romantic love necessarily, just in maybe other ways. I don't know why I'm saying that, so maybe that applies to you. So I'm not going to decide exactly what that is or has to do with. Okay, what else do you want to say? I see her put a hand on your chest, which is interesting because I don't know what either of you look like, but she's put her hand on your, did I say chest? I meant shoulder. And she kind of leans forward a little bit and she's like eye to eye with you. You were one of the good ones. The others, and this kind of maybe refers to other people that maybe her brother or other women that her brother had interacted with, or that your partner had interacted with. She didn't really resonate a lot with them, and I feel like one of the good ones in this is referencing maybe other people that he would have brought home, or maybe in general. But she says you're one of the good ones. Uh, this is me acknowledging you. This is me telling you that I absolutely approve. Uh, Go get him. I don't under. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Did you hear all that?
Yeah, I heard the last thing that I heard was "go get him," and that was it.
Okay. And that, and
Was
then like
that it?
she was one of the good ones. She approved of her. She said that she was one of the good ones. She this is me acknowledging that I approved of you. This is me. Did you hear all that part?
Yeah, I did. I did hear that part. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So I'll leave you with her love.
All right,
Time.
Arlene. So she was just mentioning here that she had a quick unexpected passing. She had straight hair and she had a big personality. So just kind of wanted to share that with you. She was mentioning that. Awesome.
Okay. Just
Okay.
kind of giving some of the confirmations. Okay.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Maurice, for that. And so we got I guess we got one more. We'll do one for Gao. I'm open to receive any messages from my guides or my loved ones.
This is bad for me. Like working within the confines of the technical difficulties. I like it though. they show me what looked like, it looks, I want to say 4 different birds arranging themselves around the house, above a house, almost as if in a grid, in a square or a diamond formation. And there are 4 different birds. And these birds seem to be quite literally creating, almost like in the same way that you'd arrange crystals on a crystal grid. It's like they're creating this vortex. Vortex. I don't even know why I use that word, but vortex around a house. And I'm going to say that this house is your living space. And how within this grid there is, it's like bolstered, heightened receptivity, but also now these birds are acting as satellites for this type of energy around you. I know, Gan, we've spoken about birds before. I've never seen this this image before. So to me, this is saying that they are providing, the birds themselves are your kind of precious allies in your spiritual journey right now. And they're not just providing messages and things for you, but they're also helping you to connect more seamlessly to spirit, and also protect you from kind of outside energies. Or really, and protection here feels less like fighting off evil spirits, but more like maintaining a specific environment within the space that they are and that will now act as protection, because anything that's not matching that frequency is kind of being repelled from this area. Like, it seems like it's around the house, so there's a lot of importance of your house specifically. It's like I can hear, almost as if they're like, if you had like surround sound speakers, those small speakers set up in different corners of the home, it's that kind of noise coming through each one. So for me, this feels symbolic of the fact that they are messengers, and not just messengers for specific family members. I'm sure that's the case too, but just messengers in general, just pure and seamless receptors for non-physical energy and information. So I also feel like this is a call to connect with them directly. And I see this image of kind of even drawing like even visually drawing a line from your heart to theirs when you're seeing them in 3D and receiving information directly from them. They're like, they really, I've never had this thought before, but it's like they feel like they themselves are crystals, and the way I understand it.
Wow. So Gao is saying, "Oh my God, birds! Wow, I have 4 loved ones who are on the other side. Birds are always on my roof and around my house."
And effective at containing way you can access. Oh, sorry. Did you? Was it breaking up?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know that you were continuing. I apologize. Continue. You were breaking up. I was just
No. That's okay.
I was just mentioning that Gao says, "Oh my God, birds! Wow, I have 4 loved ones who's on the other side. Birds are always on my roof and around my house."
Oh, and 4 specific loved ones. Yeah. And that last bit was just real quick. It was just that they are very much so like crystals, in that they seem to contain energy. I've never had this kind of thought before, but they contain information. It's like, they use quartz in computer chips and things because they're very like good at containing and storing information. It's like living birds are like that, because they're living. The information kind of move in and very freely, openly. And when you connect your heart directly to their heart, you can access this information. So it's like introducing this practice of even visually extending like a like a line of connection from your heart directly to theirs, and you'll be able to receive information more readily from them. Yeah, and I'll leave you with that, because I felt like a lot, but I'll leave you with that.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's powerful. And then I just kind of wanted to give you feedback from Arlene that she said, thank you so much, that it was incredible, that you were amazing. I just kind of wanted to give you feedback from Arlene as well.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
and then yeah, and of course Gao loves you. I'm sure that she'll put the same feedback on the comments. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing your gifts with us here. And I kind of wanted just to rail it back in here. We're finishing up the session, and I just kind of wanted to invite you to to support Maurice. He took the time to share, to teach us, to do readings. Please do go into Instagram and follow him if you're not following him already, and make sure that you book a session with him at ancientmademodern.com. If you feel called to connect with him a little bit further and deeper. And I kind of wanted to also mention that as a closing, before y'all go, I kind of wanted to announce I am um, classes are open for the Beloved Method beginners class. It's going to be 6 weeks starting on August 26th. If you want to sign up, you can go all the way to September 30th. If you want to sign up, you can go to my website, the bloominglotushealing.com, and / the beloved method if you want to go directly there, or you can just find it there directly on the under services, not under service, under offerings. You can see it there, and then you'll drop the drop down menu, and then you'll see the Beloved Method, and you can sign up there. There's a 22% off that is happening right now until the 18th of this month, so make sure that you sign up, y'all. And talking about intuitive development, you can also do that with me. It's a little different than Maurice because I use the pendulum, and I'll teach you how to use the pendulum, and I'll teach you how to navigate the records, the Akashic records, specifically to clear energies between you and loved ones, and using specialized charts that I channeled from spirit. So please do consider, if it's something that's calling you and you want to do this for others as well in the future, then you definitely want to make sure that you take the beginners class, and then the advanced class will be available later. So just kind of plugging in that right there, since the class is coming in. I can't wait. And then I will be opening an advanced class most likely on November of this year. So if you want to do this for others as well, you want to make sure you sign up for this one. This is going to be probably the last beginners class I'm going to have for this year. And then after that, I'll be focusing on the advanced classes for now, because people have been asking for the advanced for a while now. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. Please support, share, and like this video. And please do consider sharing this video to someone that you care about. We talked about some juicy stuff today, and the stuff that we talked about today was important. And so I kind of wanted to just to share that. And thank you, Gao. Thank you, Arlene. Thank you, Mila, Fabrice, Real Truth, everyone that's here. Nicole, special thanks to Nicole for this specific intention that we set for today, and to do this. That this was inspired by Nicole. So thank you. I'm sending you so much love. And do you have anything else you want to share before we go, Maurice?
Yep, that I am literally going to AT&T right after this. So sorry everybody for the technical difficulties. I'm going to replace my phone because this is horrible, and I'm so sorry. I wish I could have been more focused on you all when I was doing this reading. So I apologize for that. But yeah, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or anything about anything at all. You can reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook. Check it not as often, but I'm there. You can shoot me an email, ancientmademodern@gmail.com. And you can also, I also just started a TikTok. If that's your thing, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Oh,
But
yeah,
if you
you
want to
did
follow
say
me
that.
there, I'm
I
there as
forgot
well
about the
too.
TikTok. Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot that you had TikTok. Sorry. Yeah. Is it the same? Is it the
Yeah.
same
So
handle?
please feel free. I'll follow you back. Okay. Yes, I believe ancient.made.modern. I believe I did the same exact. Let me just check real quick to make sure.
Okay.
Yep, ancient.made.modern is the
Okay.
TikTok handle if you want to follow me there.
I'm gonna put it up here again for those who wanna follow him on Instagram. Like if you're already following him on Instagram, then you can just do the same, and then the same one. So ancient dot modern dot no, hang on. Ancient dot modern. Hang on. Where is it? Where did it go?
Oh,
See, we're both
ancient.made.modern. Sorry.
okay. There. Ancient.made.modern. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Oh my god. So this is so also this is TikTok too. So this is not only Instagram, y'all, this is TikTok too. So I forgot that you did say that last time I talked to you. I forgot about the TikTok. I'll add it next time for next time that you come. But anyway, so yeah, so no worries. Listen, Maurice, you did amazing, and let me tell you what, it's fine. Technical difficulties sometimes happen, and that's okay. We embrace it. It's part of the journey. Okay, so yes, we were meant to be together then, Nicole. I agree. And then thank you, Real Truth. Thank you, Cece. I love you all. Love you. And bye.
Oh, that's yeah.